2024 to order at 6 p.m. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I now call on Pastor David Barnes from Icon Church.
Dear Father, thank you for just your love and grace and your blessing on this community. It is apparent that there are so many great things happening in our community. New businesses coming in. We pray blessing, protection over them as more new businesses and apartment complexes and all that come to arise, and houses and exchange, all the different things that you know that's going on. God, would you just put blessing on the people that come into town, and may they feel like this is a home, a community. God, as we go into summertime with some amazing events happening, may those just flourish, blossom, being people to see what a wonderful place Sumner is to be. And God, may you protect that. It's been 150 years of wonderful just growth and just a true community aspect. And so may we hold on to that. May we grow it. May we mature it. And I pray for these council members who come here and give their lives to this community, that you would just give them rest and blessing upon their lives, that they would feel the anointing, the wisdom, the discernment necessary that they've been called upon. God, you are good. We declare that today in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor Barnes. All right, will the clerk please call the roll?
Brown,
Here.
Cole,
Here.
Ranky,
Here.
Potato,
Here.
Clairget,
Here.
Bowman,
Here.
Alfers.
So Councilmember Elfers is absent, and he did notify the city administrator and me regarding his absence. Councilmember Bowman, could I get a motion to excuse him from tonight's meeting?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to excuse Councilmember Elfers from tonight's meeting.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Councilmember Clerget. And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimous. Consent agenda. Moving down. Will the clerk please read the consent agenda?
Item number 1, Friar Avenue Trail Consulting Contract Award. Item number 2, Elm Street Sidewalks Construction Contract Award. Item number 3, Cemetery Maintenance Facility PSC Easement. Item number 4, Resolution 1689 2024 through 2029 Comprehensive Emergency Management Plan Adoption. Item 5, Approval of the checks and electronic payments in the amount of $5,804,414.87. Item number 6, approval of the minutes from the June 3rd, 2024 regular council meeting and the June 10th, 2024 special council meeting and study session. Item number 7, 2024 sidewalk repairs program, construction contract award.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor Cole, would you please make a motion
Yes,
to adopt the consent agenda?
yes, I move to adopt the consent agenda of June 17th, 2024.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Councilmember Bowman. It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. Would any council member wish to remove an item? Seeing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimous. Okay, moving on to no public hearing tonight. No unfinished business. We will move on to public comment. Michelle, would you please read the rules for public comment?
The public comment period is your opportunity to seek to speak to the council and the mayor on issues that are not on the agenda. You will have 3 minutes. Please begin your comments by stating your name and address or the city in which you reside for the record. As a reminder, this portion of the meeting is for the council's opportunity to hear from the community and not a time to engage in debate. The council will not be answering questions, and you may be directed to a staff member.
Thank you. I have 2 signed up for speaking tonight. First one, I'll call on Randall Adams.
Randall Adams, 63rd Street, Cordes. Since only the city attorney Andrea Marquez was present at the city, from the city at the courthouse for the hear arguments for the Ryan House, here are a few highlights. At the courthouse, Judge Rumbaugh made it known up front that the number of supporters for the Ryan House had no effect on his decision and to have proper decorum. Imagine that. Soon after Attorney Brickland started his presentation, Judge Rumbaugh stopped him and asked him why didn't he appeal the Growth Management Hearing Board decision. Attorney Brumbaugh stated that the decision was based on Nancy Ryan Dressel not saying specific words as she ceded her time to Kim Foster. The judge shook his head, having studied that, and expressed his disagreement in that decision. Reality is that it was not appealed, not because the appeal wouldn't have been successful, yet why throw away $20,000 to $30,000 to win an appeal, only to have it reversed back to the board that had given what appears to be a political gift to the city. No, it was not a pot of gold at the end of an amazing legal rabbit trail discovery. It was instead a decision that would have been overturned if appealed by the city, as the city used the exact same arguments in Superior Court as that was rejected by the judge. The city's attorney, Donald Marcy, stated a mantra often repeated by city officials. The Nancy Ryan Dressel Group has not raised large funds despite having time to do so. Judge Rumbaugh stopped him and reminded him that the city had issued a permit to demolish the house. We're in court fighting to implement that demolition and complaining about how much funds were raised to remodel the house while trying to stop the city's demolition was dismissed offhand. The group raised the funds to come to court and to stop the city from not following their own comprehensive plan, i.e. the law, and demolishing the house that was so heralded in the comp plan. That argument was simply rejected. During the city's presentation, your esteemed attorney, Donald Marcy, in a moment of blunt honesty, stated, and I paraphrase, "Your Honor, the city does not understand what the big deal is with demolishing this old house. There will be a lot of old buildings along Main Street that are going to be getting demolished. Tell your constituents that and see what happens." To which the judge replied, there was nothing he could do for the other buildings on Main Street, yet the Ryan House was specifically noted in the comp plan as being an important part of Sumner and was to be remodeled by the city. So it was protected until that part of the comp plan was changed. Folks, the Ryan House is simply the first skirmish that you're going to have trying to protect the demolition of downtown Sumner as we know it. The entire downtown is one of the main reasons Sumner is so desired as home for all of us. Please define exactly how much money we will lose from the state if we don't sell our souls to them. The Planning Commission last week was asked that very question, not the souls part, that question in an amazing meeting that was headed by Ann and Ryan. What happens if we just say no?
All right, second one on the list, Nick Bierman.
Hello.
State your name and address.
Yep, Nick Bierman, Parker Road East. So I just want to say a few words about communication. Communication in any relationship is a two-way street. It requires listening as well as speaking. And I have heard a lot in the last few months in the position that I've been in. And I've found that when criticism is offered, it's best to listen and take it into account. Use that input to go to the drawing board and come up with solutions. And that's what I've been trying to do as I go through, as I've gone through things the last few months. And then speaking for myself, I can't speak for people who have been speaking on behalf of the Ryan House, but just speaking for myself, I mean criticism when I come to speak at city council meetings, when I come before all of you, criticism is meant as in a constructive spirit. It's not meant to be an attack, and I've heard it characterized as an attack. And I don't like that. I don't appreciate that characterization. Like, I don't think that we're here to attack people personally just by criticizing a record or criticizing actions that are being taken. So I would like to clarify that point of communication just from me, myself. And I'd also like to say that, believe me, I've heard an earful from people in town here, from residents, about how communication from the city can also be better. A lot of people have told me that they haven't been up to date on things, and they felt like they've been blindsided by things that have happened in the city. So I would like to see a commitment from the city on how communication can be better and how the city can be working toward making that communication better, rather than having a list of reasons why everything that's already being done is good enough. And I'll just end it there. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone else in the audience want to make a statement or talk? All right. Seeing none, we'll move on to new business. Biosolids dryer procurement contract award. That's a mouthful. Councilmember Clerget, would you like to make a motion?
Yes, yes, I'd like to make a motion to approve the biosolids dryer procurement contract award.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Councilmember Ranky. Call on Public Works Deputy Director, Operations, Ryan Johnstone.
Good evening, Council, Mayor. I have just a brief presentation for you that's coming up right now. This is under new business, but some of this may be starting to sound like old business a little bit. I know that I've been in front of you once or twice, and I know over the years you've heard from staff over different parts of this larger biosolids equipment modernization project. What I'd like to talk to you about this evening is more specifically the procurement of the dryer itself that we need to get started on now, because it takes a long time to manufacture. We need to get started on it so that we're not delaying construction when we enter into that phase of the project in 2025. So we'll get rolling here real quick. Just real quickly, we're going to do a quick overview on the biosolids treatment process at the plant. Then we'll talk about the dryer procurement and then next steps. And this may look familiar, just really quickly, when sludge and biomass is discharged from the primary and secondary clarifiers, it goes to the dissolved air flotation thickener and waste primary sludge gravity thickener. From there, it's sent over to the digesters, the light green arrows. From the digesters, it follows the dark green arrow and goes into the building there where there's a centrifuge, and then it follows the orange arrow there to the dryer, which is what we're going to be talking about this evening. That's the final step before it's then taken up to our little biosolids shack there where we make it available to the public, the Class A biosolids. You've seen this slide before. This was in a presentation that we gave previously. That's the existing biosolids dryer. Listed there are issues that we're having with it. There's been a considerable amount of corrosion that's developed on the insides of the dryer over time. The inner drum is beginning to be worn away, and I wish I had thought to grab for you so I could show you this evening paddles that came out of the dryer and the new ones we put in. It's 1/4 inch thick steel when they go in new, and when they come out, they're paper thin to broken in half because of the abrasive nature of the solids as they are rotated through the drum. The dust that's created and discharge is a hazard to environment and staff. There's limited automation, which means that it has to be monitored the entire time it's running, which creates implications and impacts to our staff. And there's high energy consumption. That the thermal fluid that's used to heat and help dry the biosolids has to be kept at 450 degrees, which uses a considerable amount of energy. And then finally, there is a safety issue with that, as the flash point of biosolids is 390 degrees. So if we're not watching that carefully, there are issues regarding the flashing of the material that could be a problem. So the new biosolids dryer, which is that machine right there, it's fully automated. It has a lower operating temperature below the flash point of solid. There's more abrasion there. It incorporates more abrasion resistant materials. It has lower energy consumption. It's capable of utilizing digester gas, which is basically methane. It's biogas that's produced during the digestion process. We can harness that gas and use it to power and provide energy and heating for the biosolids dryer. And then it just has enables us to enhance our process and monitor it, and it's more safe for staff. So as far as the procurement is concerned, we advertised this procurement on March 13th of this year. We were expecting to receive 2 bids. And we did receive 2 bids, one from Andritz Incorporated and one from Comline Sanderson Corporation. Comline Sanderson was determined to be the low responsive bid with a bid of $4.9 million. And that is the contract that you have in front of you this evening. As far as procurement next steps, we're hoping that with approval tonight, we'll be able to issue a notice to proceed to the manufacturer on sometime around July 8th, the first part of July. And then that will begin, I believe the contract has 550 days for the vendor, Comline Sanderson, to manufacture that dryer and get it here on site. As far as the overall project is concerned, just wanted to hit on that as well to remind you where we're at overall. Moving forward, we're currently in final design. That final design is incorporating the design and the speccing of a whole bunch of other equipment that we've talked about previously, as well as modifications to existing structures on site. That is anticipated to be completed in the winter of 24-25, with construction happening next spring and summer. Specifically spring with completion, spring, summer 2026. And that's the end of my brief presentation. If there's any questions, happy to take those now. If not, then
Any questions? Are you good? Did you have one? Councilmember Patel.
Did you expect the cost of the dryer to be in the range that you were presented?
Oh, our engineer's estimate was lower. We were expecting somewhere between 3 and 3.5 million. However, given the type of equipment that it is and what we're seeing industry-wide, it's not, wasn't necessarily unexpected that we would see bids that may be a little bit higher. The second highest bid was in the neighborhood of $6 million. So while we're pleased with the bid, we do wish that it had been somewhat lower, but these are the conditions that we're dealing with these days. So we're happy with the bid we got. This is the preferred equipment that we were hoping would be the low bid. So we're content to move forward as it is.
That's good. And then it sounds like if you can use the methane from what's being generated, that's a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good. All right. Thank you.
Anybody else before I go to the public? Ready? Any comments from the public?
Question. Is he allowed to answer questions?
Go ahead and ask your question. Say your name and up to the microphone.
Oh, pardon.
Your name and address, please.
Tina Burnett, 228 Sumner Avenue. I take it this is a natural gas fired dryer, but you're going to be using the methane from PSE.
The methane actually comes from our local
Okay.
process.
Okay,
But
so
it would, I believe it is able to be used.
it'll be a backup. Okay, I was wondering about that. And do you have, gosh, what was my other question? So you are going to, I think that was my other question. You are going to use the methane that's generated at your facility?
Absolutely. Preferably, we would like to use as much of that as we can, because what we're doing there is we're reducing the amount of methane emissions that could occur if the product were to go to a landfill.
Right.
So
And-
utilizing the methane allows us to cut down on the production and the waste of a greenhouse gas.
and you're gonna, but you'll have PSC as backup if you.
Correct.
Right, okay, all right. I was just for 25 years, more than 25 years before I retired, I was the natural gas manager at Boeing.
Oh, okay.
Doing all the procurement and
Yeah.
rates and all of that. so
Great. Thank you for the question.
That's why it perked up.
Yeah.
Anybody else in the audience? All right, online, anybody online? Seeing none. And are we satisfied, council? You're good? All right. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Cole,
Yes.
Clargat,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Potato,
Yes.
Ranky,
Yes.
Bowman,
Yes.
Passes unanimous. All right, moving down, ordinance number 2886. Substitute amending Sumner Municipal Code, Chapter 2.100, Personnel Policies. Councilmember Potato, would you like to make a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to adopt ordinance number 2886, substitute amending Sumner Municipal Code, Chapter 2.100, Personnel Policies.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Councilmember Bowman. Call on Administrative Services Director Jeff Stebbins.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Substitute ordinance 2886 is just a minor change from a previously approved personnel policy ordinance. This ordinance removes the word scheduled that appeared twice. So the effective change will make it so part-time and temporary employees will receive 1 hour of sick leave for every 40 hours worked, as opposed to every 40 hours scheduled. Like I said, just a very minor change. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? No, no, no. All right. We're good.
would you like me to call the roll?
Yes, please. I was heading there.
Ranky,
Yes.
Coleman,
Yes.
excuse me, Cole.
I was
I'm
wondering.
sorry, I don't know where that came from.
Yes.
We wrap them up.
Oh my gosh. Bowman,
Yes.
Bowman? Yes. Clarigat,
Yes.
Potato,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
All right, passes unanimous. Okay. So that is it for our agenda. Wow. I'll move on to reports. Councilmember Potato, do you have a report? I'm gonna split the baby. I'm going this way and that way.
I just like to congratulate all the seniors that are graduating today, and I think that's, a big milestone for families. And then this weekend is Rhubarb Days, so I hope to see a lot of people downtown.
Thank you. Councilmember Ranky.
Just a couple comments real quick. Last week I did attend the open house for the Bright Night battery complex that's looking to go out there off the East Valley. It was very informative. Good bunch of people there. I learned a lot. Didn't know a lot about anything like that or where there were any. There's a bunch down towards Portland, I found out, and then one up towards Seattle. So it was pretty good presentation they put on out there. A lot of people there asking questions. So, and I would like to echo Councilman Potato's also with the congratulations to all the graduates this year. It is a big accomplishment. Just thinking about it, seeing the parties in towns and all the banners and the yard signs. Just realized that my daughter's 20-year reunion is this year and my 45th is next year. So it puts it into perspective, but it's always good to see that. And seeing all the things around town going on. So that's it for me.
Thank you. Councilmember.
No comment tonight.
No.
Thank you.
You are on there before I could say your name. Councilmember Cole.
Yes, my only comment is that I'm excited that you and me and the mayor get to attend the AWC annual conference in Vancouver starting tomorrow. We'll be driving down and we'll be there through Thursday attending, I'm sure, some great sessions. So really looking forward to it. And congratulations to all the graduates.
Awesome. Councilmember Bowman.
I'll just say ditto, ditto, ditto. Hopefully you two have a safe trip down there and you're voting members. So I'm looking forward to hearing about it when you guys come back. And I am looking forward to Rhubarb Days this weekend. It's going to be nice to get up in town. The weather's supposed to be good. So get out there and see that event and see all the great people and vendors that we have. So I'm looking forward to it. Thanks.
Awesome. Councilmember Clerget.
I guess ditto, and thank you.
All right, so I too want to congratulate all of the seniors that are graduating from Sumner High School. And I want to recognize the Eli Hill kids. They've worked especially hard and we're proud of them. So hopefully they'll celebrate safely. And this weekend is Rhubarb Days, Saturday 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Sunday 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. The weather report looks beautiful, so we'll hope to see you downtown this weekend. And with that,
Mayor, City Administrator report, please.
Yes, he finally gets a chance.
No.
City
City Administrator, I forgot you. Okay. Go for it.
Thank you for not forgetting about me,
No.
Andrea. So the acting city administrator report this evening, upcoming policy issues at our next study session, we'll be discussing the Washington Street roadway condition. At our next regular council meeting on July 1st, you'll be hearing an interlocal agreement for police specialty teams, a consultant supplement for design for the River Grove pedestrian bridge, an interlocal agreement for preparing for the commute trip reduction plan, and ordinances featuring the second quarter budget amendments, amendments to the Affordable Housing Sales and Use Tax Code, and another ordinance on personnel policies. Thank you.
I'm glad we didn't miss that. Thank you. All right. So we have no executive session tonight and I would move to adjourn this meeting at 6:26.